Grace looked at the wedding ring on her hand. It looked like a real one made of silver. The precious diamond in the middle still shone like the one she wore on her wedding day. It was raining heavily outside. She was watching the raindrops fall on the glass. As soon as the rain came, her memories came along with it. Grace loved the rain. The weather became delightful due to the rain. Grace loved getting drenched in the rain, dancing. Whenever she got drenched in the rain, Eric would order a hot cheese sandwich for her, along with hot tea. But now the year was about to end, and Eric had gone far away from her. The person with whom she had sworn to live and die had left her alone like this. But her memories were still with her. Lost in those memories, Grace did not even realize the time. Suddenly, two hands caught Grace from behind. Grace's body shivered. She closed her eyes and felt the touch. The two hands turned her back. Grace kept her eyes closed for fear that her dream would be shattered. Grace! Grace's heart fluttered as his deep voice called out her name. Eric moved forward and placed his lips on Grace's lips. Grace felt a strong sensation wrapping her body. At the same time, a strong lightning struck, making Grace open her eyes in fear. She froze to see that instead of Eric, Rocky, her current husband, was kissing her. Before the kiss turned intense, Grace pushed Rocky back with all her strength. "Rocky, how dare you kiss me?" Grace asked angrily. Her body started trembling with anger. Rocky was shocked to see the anger on her face. "Grace, I am your husband." Rocky remained with her. "So what? This does not give you the right to touch me like this. Remember, you have no right to touch me," Grace said angrily, and she left the room without giving Rocky a chance to speak. Grace ran out of the resort. The rain was still pouring heavily. The road was completely empty due to the heavy rain. Grace was just walking without worrying about the rain. She was completely drenched in the rain. The rain of her emotions was also getting heavy. Whatever Rocky did had numbed Grace's heart and mind. "Grace!" Someone stopped Grace by holding her hand. Grace turned back to scold her, and she saw that it was an old woman. She had a big umbrella in one hand. Grace recognized her. "Grandma, what are you doing here?" Grace was shocked and happy at the same time. "Not here, dear. Let's go home. We will talk there." Saying this, Grandma took her to her resort nearby. After reaching Grandma's house, she gave Grace a pair of clothes to wear and a dry towel. After drying her hair, she sat down near the fire. Grandma handed her a cup of coffee. Grandma herself sat down on her big, comfortable chair. "Now tell me, where were you going in such heavy rain? And why are you alone? Where is your husband?" Grandma asked in a worried tone. "Husband? You know about him?" Grace's mind is still blank because of an event that happened in the room. "Yes, you have come here with your husband for your honeymoon." "Right, I have heard that you have gotten married." Grandma asked. "Yes, I'm married," Grace said softly, as she reminded herself. "I'm happy that you have taken the step to move forward in life. How long will you remain like this in Eric's memories?" Grandma said with a gentle smile. "I still love Eric, and there is no one else in my heart except another." Grace said desperately. "Really?" Grandma meaningfully. "Yes," Grace nodded. "And what about your husband?" Grandma asked. Grace couldn't have the courage to say anything. "Grace, how long will you keep remembering him like this?" Grandma asked. "Eric is my first love. I can never forget him." Grace's voice still had the same pain as it had when Eric had left her a year ago. "But you are married to another man already," Grandma reminds her. "Yes, I know, but..." Grace bit her lips. "Then, what happens when you are walking on such a road in the pouring rain? Where's your husband?" Grandma asked. Grace then told everything to Grandma. She just didn't tell her what Rocky had done. She was feeling ashamed. This is a good thing. Life has given you a second chance to be happy. But you don't look happy. What's the matter? Grandma asked. "Grandma, I can't forget Eric. I can't even think of loving anyone else except Eric. Eric is not here. Does that mean I can replace him with someone else? Never." Grace's mind was once again lost in the memories of Eric. "Does Rocky know about Eric?" Daffy asked calmly, looking at Grace's face. "I don't know. I haven't told him anything about Eric yet. I didn't get a chance. Dad took advantage of his illness to force me to marry Rocky. Marriage in just 1 month. Then Rocky brought me here for the honeymoon. I didn't even get a chance to talk to him. First, I thought Dad told him about Eric, but now I realize he didn't know anything," Grace said with a disappointed sigh. "Then now is your chance. Tell everything to your husband. If you don't talk to him openly, how will he understand you?" Grandma explained to her. "You should free yourself from the memories of Eric and accept Rocky. Because Rocky is your present and future. If you keep away from Rocky like this, both of you will be unhappy. Will Eric be happy to see you crying in his memories like this? Grandma asked Grace. No, Grace said in frustration. Eric is your past, and Rocky is your future happiness. If you have to choose one of the two, who will you choose? Grandma asked. I will choose Eric, Grace said without hesitation. And Rocky, what about him? Has he never tried to keep you happy? Is he not capable of fulfilling his duties as a husband? Grandma asked. Grace became silent on her grandmother's question. Grace started looking at the cup in her hand. Rocky was the son of a friend of her father. Quiet and soft-spoken, Rocky was very handsome. He was 8 years older than Grace. Being older and a businessman, he was very sharp and intelligent. Grace's father had told her that Rocky had decided to remain unmarried for the rest of his life. That is why he had refused proposals from many girls. But as soon as he saw Grace, he immediately agreed to marry her. Grace was most angry about the fact that Rocky agreed to marry her without even meeting her. Not only this, he also got the marriage done quickly. Despite being a businessman, he got them married in a simple manner. Grace felt that due to the age difference between them, Rocky did not have to tell others that he had married a younger girl. Even after marriage, they did not talk much, but Rocky never let Grace miss anything. He arranges everything for her favorite things in the house before she steps in, and neither did he ever come close to her inappropriately. He does not even act like a dominant husband. That is why Grace had no complaints against him till now. But the way he kissed Grace today, Grace got scared. She was afraid that Rocky might take Eric's place, that he might erase Eric's memories from Grace's heart, that he might create his own memories in her heart. And Grace is not ready to let that happen. Seeing Grace lost in her thoughts, Grandma got up from her place and came close to Grace. She lovingly caressed Grace's head. We have to go through this phase of life. Grace, if you don't do anything in time, you might lose Rocky. Hearing Grandma's words, Grace looked at her suddenly. Think over what I say. I only want your happiness, Grandma said, patting Grace's head. Before Grace could say anything, the doorbell rang. Take a look at who is coming. Grandma turned and went towards the door. As soon as Grandma opened the door, she saw a young man standing in front of her, drenched in rain from head to toe. Worry was clearly visible on his face. Hello, dear, did you need anything? Grandma asked gently. Grandma, I'm looking for someone. Have you seen a girl wearing a black dress? She has curly hair. There is a small mole near her lip. She is as tall as my shoulders, but has a thin body. Her eyes are completely brown. Have you seen a girl like this? Rocky, panting, described Grace's appearance in one breath. Grace, who had recognized Rocky's voice by now, was surprised that Rocky remembered her appearance so well. Especially, he remembered the mole near her lip. Her face turns red by remembering an early kiss. You are talking about Grace, right? Grandma asked, smiling. Do you know Grace? Have you seen her somewhere? Rocky's face lit up as he heard that. Yes, I know her, but who are you? Grandma asked. I am Grace's husband. We had some differences, due to which she went away. It is my fault. Her phone was also left in the room, so I could not contact her. Rocky said in a sad voice. Understood, now come inside. Grandma gave Rocky space, gesturing for him to come inside. No, I am looking for Grace. I have looked at many resorts, but she is not there. If she is not here, then I have to look somewhere else. Rocky politely refused. Your Grace is inside. Rocky, come inside. Grandma said, smiling. How do you know my name? Rocky asked in surprise. Grace told me about you. Now come inside, otherwise you will catch a cold. Grandma held Rocky's wrist and brought him inside. Grace now composed herself. Rocky follows Grandma. As soon as he saw Grace, he moved forward. Happiness was clearly visible on his face. Grace! Rocky happily moved forward to hug her, but he stopped in the middle. He remembered Grace's angry words, so he lowered both his hands. An awkward smile spread on his face. Grace started feeling bad after seeing that. Are you okay? I have searched everywhere for you. Please, don't go anywhere without telling me. I don't know this area. If something happens to you then. Rocky was so scared that he couldn't say anything further. The restlessness and fear were clearly visible in his eyes. Drops of water were still stuck on his golden frame. Grace tried to find words. Grace, you have put your husband into worry. Here is it, son. Go and change your clothes first. You will fall ill if you stay in wet clothes for a long time. Go and change your clothes in that room. Grandma holds clothes in front of him. Sorry, I can't wear. Rocky was about to reject politely, but Grandpa stopped him. "These clothes belong to my grandson. He lives in America. Whenever he comes, he buys a lot of clothes and forgets about them. I have given you this new pair from that. Looking at your physique, it seems that these will be perfect for you." Grandma pushed Rocky towards a room nearby to change. Due to Grandma's insistence, Rocky went into that room. "Why are you standing? Sit down. I'll get some coffee for Rocky." Grandma motioned for Grace to sit down. "Grandma, he doesn't like coffee," Grace said without thinking. Then she realized what she had said. "What I mean to say is, tea for him." Grace bit her tongue in embarrassment. "I get it," Grandma said with a meaningful smile and went to the kitchen. Grace went back to her place. After a while, Rocky came there. He was wearing a blue half t-shirt and gray jeans, totally different from his style, but Rocky looked quite young in this type of clothes. Grace can see every cut on his abs and arm muscles, perhaps because of his loose clothing style. He looked older, but not hot. "Grace, do you know her?" Rocky asked suspiciously. He didn't realize Grace's eyes were roaming over his body. Grace nodded as she looked away to hide her red face. "Grace, what are you looking at?" Grace cursed at herself. "Last time, when Grace came here for trekking with her friends, she stayed in my resort. That is why we met. I have 2 resorts, one of which I rent out to tourists, and the other one is this one in which I am staying here." Grandma introduced herself before Grace could open her mouth. "Oh," Rocky nodded his head in understanding. "Here is your tea. Grace told me that you don't like coffee," Grandma said while placing the teacup in front of Rocky. "She knows." Rocky is amazed to know that Grace is paying attention to him. Grace was still sitting in front of the fireplace, and Rocky sat on the chair right in front of her. Grandma gave tea to Rocky and sat on the sofa. Rocky and Grandma began to talk like they had known each other for a very long time. Grace just listened to their conversation, but she didn't even know when she fell asleep while listening to their conversation. "Grace," someone shook Grace in a very delicate voice. Grace opened her sleepy eyes and looked. She was still sleeping in the same place. Rocky was kneeling in front of her. His handsome features were in front of her. "The rain has stopped. We have to go to the resort," Rocky said very carefully. The worry was still visible on his face. Grace stood up in panic, but she lost her balance due to suddenly standing up. But Rocky held her in time. "Grace, be careful," Rocky said, holding her in his arms. Their eyes met, and Grace stood up straight shyly. She saw redness on his ear as he coughed awkwardly. "Are you okay?" Rocky asked in a worried voice. Grace nodded her head. "Why did you run away like that?" "I thought you left me." Rocky could not say anything further. His nervousness was clearly visible in his voice. Grace looked at Rocky. Rocky lowered his eyes as he saw Grace looking at him. "Sorry, I did not know that you were not ready. But I will not touch you until you are ready. I promise. Please don't despair like this again." Rocky said quickly, "Sit down. I want to talk to you about something," Grace said, pointing towards the place beside her. Rocky stepped ahead and sat on the sofa. He keeps his distance from her. "First of all, I want to apologize for my behavior. I know you must have got angry at my behavior. You are my husband. You have the right to touch me, but there is a reason behind my behavior, and I want to tell you why." Grace decided to tell Rocky everything. "I can understand. We don't know each other well. It is not your fault here. It was just me who acted in haste. I didn't consider your feelings. You don't need to take it upon yourself." Rocky apologized. "You are thinking wrong. There is some other reason for me to keep my distance from you. Maybe my father did not tell you anything about my past." Hearing Rocky blaming himself, Grace felt even more guilty. Because Rocky did not know the truth. "What past are you talking about?" Rocky asked Grace in surprise. "The same past, because of which I can never accept you as my husband," Grace said softly. "Grace, I want to know what it is that makes you say this. Did this marriage take place without your consent?" Rocky looks hurt, desperate. "Rocky, I am a widow," Grace said with courage. Rocky was shocked to hear Grace's words. "Yes, I got married to Eric a year ago. Ours was a love marriage. We loved each other very much. We came here for our honeymoon. We stayed in the same room where we are staying now. Eric's memories are spread in every corner of this place. Some time ago, when you caught me from behind, I felt for a moment, I felt Eric." Grace could not say anything further. Eric's smiling face came in front of her eyes. "Eric caught you. You see Eric in my place. Is that right?" Rocky asked, completing her sentence. "Yes, I was shocked to see you in place of Eric. And when you kissed me, I couldn't tolerate it. How can someone else touch me instead of Eric? That's why I pushed you. Grace interrupted her words. Why didn't you tell me this before? Rocky asked. I thought Dad would have told you before marriage, Grace said. No, he didn't say anything. I'm hearing all this from you for the first time, Rocky said in surprise. Grace remained silent. There was silence between them for some time. The rain has also stopped now. So what happened to Eric? Rocky asked slowly. He wanted to know what had happened to Eric. Eric loved trekking. He was going to climb one of the highest hills here. I tried to stop Eric, but he did not listen. He was fine while climbing half of the hill, but due to the strong sunlight, he felt dizzy, and Eric's foot slipped and he fell from a height. He fell, and I could not save him. He took his last breath in my hands. Eric, Eric. Grace started crying while saying this. She cried profusely. Rocky consoled her by patting her shoulder while she cried. Feeling the warmth of Rocky's hands, Grace buried her head in Rocky's chest and started crying like a child. Rocky kept caressing her for a long time. Grace also needed his loving touch. After some time, Grace composed herself and separated from Rocky, wiping her tears. Are you okay? Rocky asked while wiping her tears. Grace shook her head slowly. Her throat had become dry due to crying. Come on, let's go back. The rain has stopped. You will feel cold. Rocky offered his hand to support her. Grace looked at Rocky's big palm. Then she got up holding Rocky's hand without saying anything. As soon as both of them came into the room looked different. Perhaps Rocky had gotten the room cleaned. I thought you didn't like flowers. That's why I got the room cleaned. So you won't have any problem. If you want, we can change the room, Rocky said in a hurry. No, the room is fine. And I never said that I don't like flowers. Grace said quickly. Okay, you go and take a hot shower, Rocky said, nodding. Grace went to the bathroom and started the hot shower. As soon as the hot water fell on her body, Grace's thoughts also opened up. Rocky is not as bad as I thought. Papa had lied to both of us, that he had told Rocky about my first marriage, and I thought Rocky had married me just to do me a favor and to hide his old age. How wrong I was thinking. He is so sweet. Grace was shocked at her thoughts. There was a soft knock on the door. Grace turned off the shower and went to the door. Grace, I have kept your gown outside near the door. Take it from here. Rocky's soft voice came. Shit, how can I forget clothes? Cursing herself, Grace quickly wrapped the towel around her neck and opened the door a little. She saw Rocky standing with his back towards her. Grace quickly picked up the clothes and closed the door. What is this? What kind of gown is this? Grace looked at the gown, which was very deep in the breast area and background area. Due to this, despite wanting to, Grace was not able to hide those parts of her body that she should hide. This must be a joke of my friends. Grace cursed at her friends in her mind. The sound of knocking on the door was heard again. Rocky's voice came from behind. This is my shirt. Wear it. I did not find a single decent gown in your bag. That is why I am giving you my shirt. On hearing Rocky's voice, Grace opened the door again and took the shirt from Rocky's hands, whose head was still in the other direction. Grace wore the shirt. Rocky's body fragrance was coming from it. It was Rocky's favorite calling fragrance. The light fragrance of modesty and aqua bound her body. She opens the door and comes out of the bathroom. Rocky is still standing his back toward her. I'm done. You can take a shower too, Grace said in a soft tone. Rocky turned to her, his eyes darkening as he saw Grace in his shirt. Adam's apple moves, then he looks away, coughing lightly. You can rest. Don't wait for me, he said in a hurry as he almost ran toward the bathroom. Grace sat on the bed. She was thinking about what happened today. Rocky came out wiping his hair. He was surprised to find Grace sitting on the bed. What happened? Can't sleep? He asked. No, I'm just going to sleep. I'm waiting for you, Grace said. Rocky smiled. Grace kept looking at his smile. Rocky had a dimple on his right cheek while smiling. His smile was very attractive, and Grace came to know this for the first time. Rocky climbed onto the left side of the bed. He put a big pillow. Why is this? Grace asked. Mother says that my hands and legs move a lot in my sleep. I hope you don't get hurt, Rocky said. Grace smiled at his words. Seeing her smile, Rocky also smiled. Grace woke up late the next day. She was thinking about Rocky till midnight. For the first time this year, she was thinking about Rocky instead of Eric. As soon as she woke up in the morning, she started feeling almost normal like before. After taking a bath, she wore a nice sari, and wiping her wet hair, she came near the dressing table when her eyes fell on a chit kept on the table, on which a fresh red rose was also on the letter. She opened the letter and started to read. Last night, I saw you smiling for the first time. I liked it. You look very beautiful when you smile. I will hardly be able to fill the place of Grace Eric, but I can give you so much love that sorrow, and pain will never be able to touch you. I will fulfill every promise made at the time of marriage with full dedication. I will fulfill all your demands. I will keep you happy in every way. Earlier, I did not want to marry anyone, but when I saw you for the first time, I fell in love with you at first sight. Perhaps that is why I said yes to marriage, without knowing what was in your mind. Because I was afraid that, what if you get married to someone else? That is why I kept the marriage quick and simple. But I felt that you were angry with me because of my age. That is why you keep avoiding me. Yesterday, when I heard everything from your mouth, I felt how stupid I am. If I had talked to you, then perhaps I would not have been in a hurry to touch you. But now, I understand what I have to do. Grace, I want to give this relationship a chance. I promise I will try my best to be a good husband. I just need you with me. Will you support me? Grace put the letter on the table, with her eyes filled with tears. Then she looked at herself. She was asking herself the same question. Will she give Rocky a chance? Grace composed herself and put the red rose in her hair. This was her first step towards Rocky. Just then the doorbell rang. Rocky came out of Grace's lips. She quickly got up and opened the door. Instead of Rocky, the resort helper was standing in front. He was standing in a panic, as if he had come running from a long distance. What happened? Grace asked. That's Sir Rocky, sir. The helper tried to say with a heavy breath. Grace was shocked to hear Rocky's name from his mouth. What happened to Rocky? Where is he? Grace asked in panic. Sir, he had gone for a walk on the hill above. He slipped and fell, the helper told her. What? Came out of Grace's lips. Grace's heart sank. Her ears started ringing. It happened again. Words keep ringing in her mind. Yes, but some people have saved him, helper said. Where is he? Grace said in a trembling voice. Grandma has kept him at her home. Grandma wants to tell you, madam. Madam, listen. But Grace did not wait to hear her complete words. She ran out of the resort like a madwoman. She was running barefoot on the dirt roads. Old memories started coming to her mind. Fear started to fill her heart. What if Rocky also dies like Eric? Thinking that, Grace's mind exploded. When she reached Grandma's house, she saw Rocky sitting in the living room of Grandma's. Rocky! Grace came inside calling Rocky with a tearful face. All the people standing there were shocked to see Grace coming there suddenly. Rocky had a bandage tied around his hand and head. Rocky, are you okay? Oh God, you are so badly injured. Who told you to go to that hill? You know what happened to Eric. Still you did this. Why? Tell me. Why don't you say anything? Grace asked, holding Rocky's shoulders and shaking him. Tears were continuously falling from her eyes. Grandma understood the matter and sent everyone out of the resort, and she sat outside in the garden so that both of them get a chance to talk. Rocky tried to calm Grace down. Grace, I am absolutely fine. Look at me, I am absolutely fine. There are only small scratches. Rocky held Grace's face in both his hands and turned her towards him. Grace looked at Rocky while sobbing. After a few moments, Grace suddenly hugged Rocky. Rocky also held her tightly in his arms. He caressed Grace's back gently. If you do something like this again, then I will also die. I have lost Eric, but I cannot lose you intentionally. I cannot, she mumbled in his arms. I cannot live after losing you too. Grace. Rocky separated Grace from himself and wiped her tears. I promise that I will not leave you. Will you? Rocky could not say anything further, because Grace closed his mouth with a kiss. After a deep, intense kiss, he separated Grace from himself, gasping. Will you? Rocky asked in a hopeful voice. Yes, but give me some time, Grace said. Okay, take as much time as you want. I am here. Let's make our own little house, Rocky said calmly. Our lovely house, Grace said as she buried her head in his arms.